doesn't always work perfectly, but we have seen in these last couple of decades the emergence of huge cost savings in the various sectors and departments. And the sometimes data sharing across departments and agencies. And you in this room are perhaps more sensitive to the problems that we face in data sharing across an organization than anyone else in the world, right? Is this vision of data sharing expandable to a global scale? When the idea first came out 40 years ago, we were using mainframe computers, and it was difficult to share data. It was actually difficult to make a map, actually. And as we advanced in mini computers and workstations and PCs, we were able to do more of it because the technology allowed it, it facilitated it. Just 20 years ago, this year, the internet and the web was developed. It's only 20 years. Most of you were around being a professional 20 years ago. And look what it has done. It's literally changed the world. It's provided access to all our knowledge by everyone, everybody with a connection. And that's pretty substantial. We are about to move full geographic knowledge of our planet into that space. That's evolving very rapidly. And so I would assert that there are many forces that are converging that will enable this kind of enlightenment for the planet. One of my best friends suggested that understanding precedes action. Understanding precedes action. That's a very interesting idea. If I understand something like smoking kills me, I change my behavior. Without that understanding, I just look at the advertisement. Smoking is cool, you know. Doesn't hurt me. Understanding precedes action. And I think that's one of the major roles here. What are the trends? Moore's law, computation and networks, continues. Not really slowing down. Networks, computational performance, parallel processing, virtualization, and now on the mobile device are bringing Cray computers to us in our hands. And they're connected to the web, connected to virtually all knowledge. In the measurement world, you particularly, better than anyone else, know what's occurring. We're exponentially growing the synoptic and transaction measurement that measures the planet. And that's all being made available, or a lot of it, now crowdsourcing. A new form of geospatial measurement is becoming available. And in the software, it's becoming easier, free, accessible, accessing geoservices as a foundation. And this is affecting science. It's affecting how we understand the world and how it's evolving. And these are co-evolving, just like the technology of the telescope in Galileo's time advanced science and astronomy. So GIS is advancing geography science itself and our understanding. And this co-evolution process, which I've talked about and others for many years, continues to move. And we are now entering an age which for me is shocking, which is there has been a movement in the world for increasingly open data policies by government sharing their data within bounds, of course, for everyone else, putting it up on the web. Not simply a picture, but often raw information. This collective bunch of trends is creating, okay, maybe I'm extrapolating a little bit, but it's creating a collective geographic understanding and certainly will affect the world and our societies in the future. organizations, you, for example, are building geographic knowledge and increasingly making it available for others to use directly. Perhaps not all of the data, but pictures of the data, enough so that it's usable by multiple applications. Publishing it with servers that can be ingested, matched up, used in new collaborative approaches. And society is in the midst of figuring this out. How do we do this? How do we continue paying for our infrastructure through sales, but at the same time serving a larger public issue? Another new and very fast-growing source of geospatial data is social media. The map in the upper left is in Lithuania. These are green dots on the map. There's green dots, orange dots, and red dots. The red dots are put in by citizens about an environmental problem. Abandoned cars, illegal forest cutting, or dumping of pollution. Everybody can see what citizens are saying. The orange dots are where the government is taking action. And the green dots on the map, on the web, are where it's been fixed. Same thing in the center diagram of New York City, this one here. These are potholes in the street. Red dots are where there's a pothole. Citizens are saying to the city, you have a problem here. The city accepts that if it's an orange dot, and it's a green dot if they fix it. This is citizen-driven government, the next step in open democracy. And then Twitter and Facebook and other social media types are all becoming spatially referenced. This is a new kind of geographic information. And for the GIS professional, it's very important. In the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico a few months ago, thousands of citizens were out taking photos with GPS, giving it to BP and giving it to the government agencies. It was a new form of observational data. Is it an authoritative source? No. Should it be trusted with the same trust as government data? Perhaps not. On the other hand, it is a powerful observational set of data that we need to figure out how to manage and deal with and incorporate in the information systems that we build. At the same time, a kind of informal, growing, web-based geospatial platform is occurring. This is made up of thousands and thousands of servers serving maps and data, and a new class of web applications, which are often open source and free, that are being built on top of this core infrastructure by authoritative source organizations. Perhaps not exposing all of their data, but definitely some of the information. And the applications range from citizen reporting to citizen science to open government to crisis management like in the Gulf, and hundreds and hundreds of others. This new GIS in the sky, you might say, is basically GIS on the web. And this information is becoming very available. I would assert pervasive, embedded in various devices, mobile devices, browser devices, personal devices, so I can have access and reach back to that kind of information. So my assertion is that we are certainly moving into a geospatially literate society. It'll be everywhere. And your work, particularly your work, will be exposed through that system.